Stephen Hawking's last words are "There is nothing like heaven or hell, there is not fixed stars," as he described in his book Brief History of Time. Ptolemy's theory was explained by Stephen Hawking, and he said that there is not anything like heaven. If you have read his books, you may have idea about his thoughts. He had also said that the universe is expanding continually. He was saying that Newton's law of gravitation fails to explain this phenomenon because gravitational force can't be attractive every time. After certain distance, gravitational force start to repel bodies. This is his last discovery. The early years. The collection encompasses Professor Hawking's personal and professional life. Particularly touching is a letter by Hawking to his father on family-headed notepaper that was written when the future professor was 6 years old. In childlike lettering, with several crossings out, the young Stephen tells his father a story about pirates loading treasure. He signs off with hugs and kisses. Tim Hawkins saw the note for the first time only recently. "I would write my dad letters along those lines," he reminisces fondly. "It was quite nice to see it being passed along the generations and appreciating that he had a loving relationship with his dad, as I did when I was that age. It shows a tenderness in his relationship with his father which I hadn't fully understood until now." Professor Hawking was a prolific letter writer. He communicated with popes, U.S. presidents and Nobel laureates. The letters, however, show his handwriting deteriorating after a diagnosis of motor neuron disease in 1963. Its progression is captured by the increasingly misshapen letters and ink blots on the page. TV scripts. Professor Hawking made an immense contribution to science. But his status as the world's most famous scientist was partly because of his appearances on popular TV programs such as Star Trek and Big Bang Theory. Among the archive is Hawking's personal script from his first appearance on The Simpsons, in 1999. In the episode, Professor Hawking and Homer Simpson go to Moe's Tavern for a drink. Professor Hawking becomes intrigued by Homer's theory of a donut-shaped universe and wonders if he can steal it. Homer imitates him, in an attempt to make him pay the bar bill, and gets punched by a boxing glove on a spring, concealed in Professor Hawking's wheelchair. Dr. Jessica Gardner, who is Cambridge University's Director of Library Services, said the scripts reflect an important aspect of Professor Hawking's contribution to the communication of science. He had an enormous sense of humor. He was willing to be in The Simpsons, to let fun be taken, if what that did was to help communicate science and help people get excited about it, she explained. To have these scripts shows the celebrity part of his life, but also that he was determined to break down the barriers to science. Scientific papers. The star attraction for historians will be Professor Hawking's research papers and correspondence with his collaborators. They are a record of how his unique mind worked, cataloging corrections and changes in his ideas over time. Professor Paul Shellard, who worked with him at Cambridge University, said that the collection of papers had a profound influence on our understanding of space-time and the universe. "It's a wonderful thing that historians of science can get an idea of how Stephen thought about these problems," Professor Shellard explained. "He saw further than others, and I hope that his intuition and way of thinking will come through in the archive and be remembered in perpetuity." Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.